I tell you, my neighbor don't get no respect either. No respect at all. You kidding? I bought some rat poison. The girl asked me, should I wrap it up? You're going to eat it here.
Johnny Carson launched countless comedy careers from his stage. Some acts were so funny they became defining moments for the comics and the show itself.
I don't know. Bring on the next guy. I don't know what to do.
These are the most hilarious stand-up moments in Johnny Carson history. Rodney Dangerfield has Johnny busting up.
The next day, I usually wake up in some strange place with a kid with an accent playing with my feet. What happened to you too? Huh?
Yeah. Dangerfield immediately opens with rapid-fire one-liners that have the crowd roaring.
The other day I took a laxative, started to work in a bank, and banks have no men's room. Only for the employees. If you work, they can use the men's room. Yeah, I had to go so bad I applied for a job.
Rodney was making Carson laugh so hard you couldn't even hear him, a true sign of comedy. Eddie Murphy's first appearance.
Thank you. Shut up.
Murphy starts off with a bit on men's underwear ads, roasting the way men talk about it.
I was just outside, standing in the front going. You know?
What set him apart was his gestures, instead of just talking, turning a simple topic into a full character routine. Louie Anderson's incredible first appearance.
I can't stay long, I'm in between meals, so bear with me.
Anderson opens with roasting himself flawlessly. He then keeps topping himself with food and weight jokes that feel oddly warm instead of mean.
Being in California, being fat, and try to get into this California life. Went to the beach the other day. Every time I'd lay down, people would push me back into the water.
The punchlines land because he frames himself as the target while sounding genuinely bewildered by his own appetite. Rodney Dangerfield almost makes Carson fall out of his chair.
The other night I went into a place, I asked the bartender for a double. He brought out some guy who looked like me.
This one is pure velocity. Rodney barely pauses, chaining one-liners so fast Carson can't recover between laughs.
Remember that one? Yeah, sure.
Of course I do.
Of course you do. You knew a lot of them, I bet. I don't know. Bring on the next guy. I don't know what to do.
A signature example is his drive-in movie joke, where he says he did push-ups in the backseat to keep up. Drew Carrey kills his first appearance.
Yeah, I know what I look like, thanks.
Carrey leans into his big guy persona with bits that escalate into a vivid scenario of being squeezed between two large people.
Daddy needs to lose weight and get a new career, come on. I'm the only one that still looks like his graduation picture, though, so I'm pretty happy.
The physical specificity of the situation is what makes the room explode with laughter. Carson backstage said, "I know this guy is going to be big." Tommy Smothers walks out as Johnny. Smothers walks on dressed like Carson and commits to the impression so hard it's instantly recognizable.
It was so cold.
He then punctuates it with a surprise gag, pulling a yo-yo out of his sock and doing tricks like it's the most normal thing in the world. Andy Kaufman's Elvis Presley impression.
I would like to imitate the Elvis Presley. Could I have my things?
Kaufman's Elvis transformation went above and beyond. The costume, the hair, the voice, everything. The accuracy of the impersonation is what made this clip iconic and replayed for decades. Jim Carrey, the national television debut.
I think it was about 30 years ago today. I was attacked by a dog. I was standing in the street screaming, trying to get the vicious dog off my leg.
Carrey mixes music and impressions, sliding from a quick jailhouse rock moment into rapid face and body transformations. He jumps between Nicholson and Eastwood and Dean-style mannerisms without resetting. The how is he doing that factor comes from how cleanly he transitions.
You know, I think I've probably spent my entire life staring in the mirror. I have. But I haven't been staring at me. I've been staring at Leonid Brezhnev.
Carson watches with visible delight because Carrey's energy is infectious. The routine showcases the range most comics take years to develop. Carrey treats his debut like a greatest hits compilation. Johnny gives him extra time because the material keeps delivering. The segment proved Jim was ready for stardom immediately. Jay Leno's first stand-up comedy appearance.
I'm originally from the United States. Any United States people here tonight? Oh, what a small world. Isn't that funny, no matter where you're from?
Leno's debut set riffs on the weird wording of TV news reports and on growing up with parents shaped by the Depression.
We were just sitting in the green room watching the local news before. I always get a kick out of newsmen, because newsmen always use the same metaphor.
Another senseless killing early today in mid-Manhattan.
Senseless as opposed to what? Sensible killing?
Man was beaten and robbed of 12 cents on the west side, a senseless killing, whereas on the east side, a
$1,000 killing, very sensible.
The audience response starts a little tepid, but he finishes stronger and earns a spot at Carson's desk afterward. Ellen DeGeneres gets invited back.
You feeling good? Me too. Feels great. I've been keeping in shape lately, you know. You have to. I'm getting older. I'm 27. People say, you don't look 27. You look like you're about 23. I'm lucky because that runs in my family. My grandmother is 97. She looks about 93.
Ellen comes out noticeably nervous and does clean conversational observations, including a bit where she imagines a blunt back-and-forth conversation with God.
That's good. That whole fitness thing runs in my family, though, I think. My grandmother started walking 5 miles a day when she was 60. She's 97 today, and we don't know where the hell she is.
She wins the room, and Carson invites her to the couch, which is a very rare honor for stand-up specials, and tells her she can come back anytime. Steve Martin, the great Flydini. Martin plays the magician totally straight while doing something absurd, repeatedly producing impossible objects from his fly. The seriousness becomes the punchline as he maintains perfect magician poise. The bit escalates into prop magic chaos, including multiple productions and a crafted visual payoff. Carson can barely contain himself as the absurdity builds. Martin's commitment to the character never wavers, even as the gag gets more ridiculous. The audience loves watching someone execute a stupid premise with total professionalism. Flydini became one of Martin's most requested bits. Johnny later called it one of the smartest dumb jokes he'd ever seen. Flip Wilson, the legendary baby joke.
And as he approached the section where the woman was with the baby, he stops and he's staring like that. And the woman's watching him. She's watching him from the corner of her eye. She says to him, "What are you looking at?" The guy says, "I'm looking at that ugly baby."
Wilson sets it up like a proud parent story, then detonates it with the famously brutal ugly baby punchline that instantly shocks and cracks the room. The moment is so strong, Carson explicitly singles it out as one of the funniest lines he'd heard. Wilson's delivery is perfect, building audience expectations, then destroying them. Johnny's reaction shows genuine surprise, like he didn't see it coming. The joke became a Tonight Show legend referenced for years after the fact. Wilson's timing makes the punchline land with maximum impact. Carson stops the show to praise the joke, which almost never happened. The audience reaction is explosive because the setup seems so innocent. Wilson frames it as a real story, which makes the twist even more shocking. Johnny reportedly later told friends that the joke was a masterclass in misdirection. The clip gets replayed constantly as an example of perfect stand-up construction. Wilson's facial expression after delivering the line shows he knows he nailed it. Carson's laughter is so genuine it becomes part of the bit. The moment demonstrated why Wilson was one of the era's best comedians. Johnny gave him a standing ovation, something he almost never did during sets. The ugly baby joke entered comedy history as a perfectly crafted punchline.
And I noticed that the lady occupying the seat there had her baby with her. Ugly baby. Bad-looking baby.
Wilson's ability to make cruelty funny without being mean was his signature. Carson recognized greatness when he saw it and called it out immediately. The segment proved that one perfect joke could define a career. Wilson rode that momentum for years afterward. Johnny included it in compilations of his favorite Tonight Show moments. Roseanne Barr, the domestic goddess.
I hate that word, housewife. I prefer to be called domestic goddess.
Barr's domestic goddess persona lands in 1985 because she attacks the pressures of being a housewife with blunt working-class sarcasm. You can hear her breaking and laughing at her own jokes, which makes the audience laugh harder. She frames marriage and husband expectations as the real horror story, and the audience reaction spikes. Barr's delivery is conversational, like she's venting to friends, not performing for cameras.
And you know what I do all day? Yeah, you're right. I lay there on that couch eating those bonbons, watching those soap operas, and tuning into that Donahue show. There's a show you could really learn something from. I didn't even know it was possible to be a woman trapped in a man's body.
The material resonates because it speaks to real frustrations women weren't supposed to voice. Johnny watches her with curiosity because her approach is completely different from typical stand-up. She's unapologetically herself, rough edges and all. The domestic goddess character became her signature, giving her a unique angle. Carson later said Barr brought something fresh to comedy from a working-class female perspective. Her jokes about husbands are brutal, but rooted in observable truth. The audience loves her because she says what they've been thinking. Barr's willingness to be unlikable in pursuit of honesty set her apart. Johnny gives her multiple appearances, proving he recognized her talent. The 1985 set launched her into sitcom stardom. Barr's comedy was revolutionary for its time, refusing to be polite or accommodating. Carson respected comics who had a clear point of view, and Barr certainly did. Her self-deprecating humor felt genuine, not performative. The segment showed that comedy was evolving beyond the old boys club. Barr represented a new generation of comedians who didn't ask permission. Johnny's platform helped legitimize her voice, giving her credibility. Garry Shandling, the knockout first appearance.
Wow, that's very nice. I'm so excited to be here. I had a great day. I went to the bank earlier today, and have you gotten your free pen yet? These are free.
Shandling's set hits with low-key anxiety jokes like the weird suspense of waiting to hear your name called at a restaurant. He keeps tightening the rhythm until each line tags the last. The humor comes from how calmly he admits the petty panic, making the audience recognize themselves in it. Shandling's delivery is conversational, almost apologetic, which makes the neuroses funnier. He doesn't perform anxiety. He casually mentions it like everyone feels this way.
You go ask him, honey. You look stupid. You go up there and find out.
Carson relates to the material because it's observational without being hacky. Shandling's pacing is methodical, each joke building on the previous one. The restaurant bit works because everyone has experienced that specific social awkwardness. Johnny's face shows appreciation for the craft. Shandling isn't just funny, he's smart. The set establishes Shandling as a comic someone professionals respect. His willingness to expose his own neuroses became his trademark. Carson later became a mentor to Shandling, recognizing a kindred spirit. The first appearance led to dozens more, Shandling becoming a Tonight Show regular. His comedy was subtle, requiring the audience to lean in and pay attention. Johnny loved comics who trusted the audience's intelligence. Shandling's neurotic persona influenced a generation of comedians. The segment proved you didn't need to be loud to be funny. Carson's endorsement launched Shandling into the comedy stratosphere. The restaurant joke became a signature bit of Shandling, refined over years. Johnny later said Shandling understood comedy structure better than almost anyone. The first appearance was so strong, it guaranteed Shandling a career. The vast majority of the comedians on this list got their lucky break telling jokes on the Tonight Show stage.
My wife's father, he moved in with us, has an electronic pacemaker. Every time he sneezes, the garage door opens. I saw my dentist, too, last week, another beauty. I said to him, Doc, look at my teeth, they're all getting yellow. He told me to wear a brown necktie. I'll tell you, last week was a rough week for me. I broke up my psychiatrist, too. He told me I'm going crazy. I said to him, if you don't mind, I'd like a second opinion. He said, all right, you're ugly, too.
This shows how good of a person Carson was. He was willing to take a risk and platform comedians who had never been on TV before.
She is quite simply a true artist. And I think one of the great tests of comedy is how well it stands up. And if you're a Lucy fan, and I think that probably is about everybody in the world, if you watch any of the Lucy shows that they made quite a few years ago, they are still as funny today as they were the first time they made them. And they're incredible.
And with that one chance, they made history. If you love these classic Tonight Show moments, hit that subscribe button and write your favorite Johnny Carson stand-up moment you think we missed that should have been included in the comments below.